So I'm going to be talking about what we covered in science today. Yesterday we were reading in a book and we talked about the differences between temperatures in Celsius and Fahrenheit. And Fahrenheit is the temperature that we use in our country pretty regularly. Celsius is the temperature that most other people around the world use. So that was kind of a little bit of a review from yesterday. And then today we started talking about the ways that weather and temperature are tracked. We looked at some graphs here, and that shows, for instance, in July, usually the temperature is increasing. We're in October now, and generally in October, we start out somewhat warm, and usually by the end of October, the temperatures are starting to go down. We also talked about different warm fronts and cold fronts. So warm front is when warmer air is moving in, and a cold front is when colder air is moving in. So these examples down here kind of show a cold front moving in and then a warm front moving in. Okay, so that was warm fronts and cold fronts. We talked about how we can record the rain. And when rain falls, there are different ways that scientists kind of track that, and they use radar to help figure out what the rain is going to look like, maybe how much rain is going to fall. We talked about this being kind of the track of a hurricane, and hurricanes have tons of rain usually. They can almost measure the rain in feet sometimes. And that the track of a hurricane can vary. So if the hurricane was right down here, it could go all the way over this way, or it could go all the way over that way based on what's already happened. So people in these areas would really have to watch out and be careful. Next, we looked at different types of clouds. So if you see dark gray clouds, these are called stratus clouds right up here. Those are usually your rain clouds. The darker the clouds in the sky, the more chance it's going to rain, or in the winter, more chance it would snow. Cirrus clouds look pretty feathery and very light, and then cumulus clouds are those light, fluffy clouds that almost look like pillows in the sky. Those type of clouds, the cirrus and the cumulus, usually don't have much rain associated with them. And the last thing that we talked about during our lesson today was how rain is measured. And the amount of rain that falls, it's actually a pretty easy way that they measure it. There is something called a rain gauge, which is essentially a plastic tube. And all you have to do to make your own rain gauge is to take a plastic cup outside. When it's going to rain, you just leave it outside. And then afterwards, you can stick a ruler in it and just measure the amount of rain that fell. Pretty basic to figure out how much rain falls. What you do want to do is make sure that you put your rain gauge out in the open. If you put it right next to a house or right under a tree, it may not measure the exact amount of rain. So that's kind of the basic idea of how rain is measured. And that's pretty much what we talked about in science today. And we will continue looking at this book during our next science lesson. So that's kind of a recap of what we covered in science today. And today was Tuesday, which is October 6th. So take care, and we'll see you guys next time. Bye.